We will be right with you. Have a couple things to take care of first. Good morning, everyone. I got to switch over a couple of things before we get started here. Let me just see what's going on with this. Going to do that. There we go. And then I can do this. We already got, before we even started, we got a couple of thumbs up. We got our first comment from Sebastian. Using Final FCP CS on a project right now while watching documenting experiences in the group. Absolutely, absolutely. Sebastian was the one that sent me the link to the App Store last week because it wasn't obvious. The App Store wasn't obvious where you could go to get the Creator Studio. But since then, the next morning I saw they had a big banner up to click on it to go to the Creator Studio. Now, here's a couple of things. We're going to talk about the Creator Studio. Obviously, mostly Final Cut Pro, but we could talk about other things a little bit too. This is Final Cut TV, so mostly Final Cut Pro stuff, but there might be a comment or two about Logic or something, mostly Final Cut. Good morning from Montreal. How cold is it in Montreal? Because it is cold as the dickens here. Right now, 10 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, it's 13 degrees Fahrenheit. 13 degrees Fahrenheit at 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, here's what it looks like. You could see right here, look. We've had this like 8 inches of snow. It's completely frozen over. It's not melting at all. Hasn't melted for days. And it's not supposed to get warm. It's not supposed to be getting warm. So I don't think we're going to see any warmth at all for like days. 7 here in Michigan. Aaron Boak. 1 degree in Lincoln. 1 degree. Yeah, that's cold. That's absolutely cold. So, the launch. We had the launch. It was, if you watched the live stream, we did a live stream launch. It was a little weird trying to get to the Creator Summit. Creator, not the Creator Summit. That's weird too. Creator Studio. I'm ready for a heat wave on Friday 22. Yeah, that would be great. I'd like to see it be in the upper 30s to 40 to melt some of this snow that we've got. It's just incredible. So listen, we got 10 inches of snow here where I live. 10 inches of snow. And the schools were closed for 4 days. They opened up for half a day on Friday, and then they're closed for the weekend. 10 inches of snow, we've gotten 15, 20 inches of snow, 2 feet of snow, plenty of times, but we haven't had it for 10 years. So this 10 inches of snow, plus it was very, very cold. It's very cold. So Sebastian, let us know what you found out about FCP CS, Creator Studio. If you found any oddities going on. So here's one of the first questions I have. Is it possible for there to be bugs in FCP CS versus the regular Final Cut Pro in one and not the other? I say yes. I think there's 2 separate apps, maybe, even though they're based on the same code. Minus 14 Celsius, minus 10 Fahrenheit. So you're cold. That is really cold, especially with the wind. So I'm curious, is it possible to have a bug in one version of Final Cut Pro and not the other? Because I think they're 2 separate apps. Maybe somebody can chime in on that. Connecticut, very cold, absolutely. Sebastian says, sharing interchanging libraries is buggy at times, and yes, FCPCS has its own code and a little more bugs. Now that's interesting. That is interesting. You would think they would share code, except for whatever they got to do to tie into the subscription. Good morning from Quebec. Minus 22 today. Yesterday was minus 26 Celsius. That's too cold. That is too cold. Hello from Denmark. Today I realized that Apple had removed the call-out feature, which I use often to call out what I'm talking about, to a new subcategory in Final Cut Pro 12. Huh. I'm waiting to upgrade all the apps in the suite until I hear more, not updating iWork to avoid the nagware. That's a good, I like that. Nagware. Yeah, it's constantly nagging you to subscribe, constantly up in your face. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. Not cool. We don't want that. Put a little link that we can do it on our own, not this constant bombardment of subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. That's not the way to do it, especially for professionals. FCPCS does not have a splash screen. Audio unit scanning is gone, but starts faster. Very interesting. Version 12 in general has more responsive timeline, zooming, skimming, and change all colors for roles, sub-roles. A nightmare if you open a big project. They changed all colors. Do you mean they went back to some kind of default colors, or just changed the actual color values? I read that too. I heard that FCPCS is more buggy. In my case, it works very smooth, so I'm not sure. Okay. In my case, I've downloaded the basic envelope of the Apple Creator Studio, but I haven't subscribed to anything yet. I haven't paid anything. I haven't agreed to anything yet. But I have all the apps loaded. And I have no intentions of subscribing for the time being. How's the performance on Final Cut Pro 12? Sebastian says, more responsive timeline, zooming, skimming, changed all colors for sub-roles. More colors? How did I miss that? More colors and a reset color for custom roles. So they have more colors now. I'm on the trial, by the way. I have standalone, but I want to know. Absolutely. So I'm not going to get the trial yet. I'm going to wait because I'm planning on buying perhaps a new M5 Mac Mini when they come out. And I think we get 90-day free trial rather than just 30 days. So I'm not in any hurry. There's nothing in Final Cut Pro CS versus Final Cut Pro 12. There's nothing in the CS version versus the 12 version that I'm really interested in. More titles, a few more transitions, a few more generators, and some of the generators look pretty cool, but nothing that I can't buy from a third party, pay once, and not have that $12.99 constantly hitting me every month, or $10.75 for the yearly month. So there's nothing in Final Cut Pro CS. I like that. CS, we'll call it CS Creator Studio versus Final Cut Pro 12, which is a standalone. There's nothing in Final Cut Pro CS that compels me to get it, because the main reason I would get it is Final Cut Pro. Logic Pro, the same. Logic Pro, I think I have to, it's very difficult for me watching the YouTube videos to see what the extra/premium content is in each one of these apps. In Final Cut Pro, they're calling it extra content. They're not calling it premium content. I think Logic Pro and the rest of the apps, they're calling it there's premium content that you need to subscribe in order to get. In some instances, I understand that. If you're going to subscribe to a clip library or sound effect library, I completely understand that. But for the Final Cut Pro, which is the main reason that I would subscribe, there's nothing to compel me to upgrade. Zero. As a matter of fact, there's something that compel me not to upgrade, and that's $12.99 a month. So we'll have to see how that works out. It seems to me, since Apple is not calling these premium, these new titles, generators, transitions, since they're not calling them premium content, they're calling them new content, they should have included that in Final Cut Pro 12. If it's not premium, it should be included. Don't try to squeeze us a little bit at a time and push us towards subscription. That will just make people aggravated. That'll just aggravate. Just be upfront with us. One of the things that I noticed, observation that I've made is, if somebody buys Final Cut Pro outright now and pays $299 for it, how long would you expect they would get feature parity with the subscription version? I would say years. Years for sure. I'm not worried about 5 years down the road. I'm not worried about 4 years. I'm worried about the next 2 years. There's two things I don't want to see Apple do. Number one, raise the subscription price. Number two, start squeezing more and more features out of Final Cut Pro 12 that are only available in Final Cut Pro CS. That would make people very aggravated, including me. Don't start doing that nonsense. Give us feature parity. Keep it feature parity. I don't care if you have some more titles. But it seems to me they should have been in Final Cut Pro 12, because if they're not premium, why? Why wouldn't you include them? You're trying to push us towards subscription. Little bit at a time. That's what it seems like. Going to get back on. Here we go. Some more comments here. Catch up on them. Hello from New Jersey. I'm very disappointed that Apple didn't offer more for their flagship Final Cut Pro to accompany the hoopla. Improved graphic fonts are great, but no major requests such as text-based editing. Yes. We're going to do, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to go through all the features that we've gotten since Final Cut Pro 11. Final Cut Pro 11, 11.1, 11.2, and now Final Cut Pro 12. So 4 major updates to Final Cut Pro. We're going to go through all the features, and the list is not very long. So for the last 15, 16 months, there's not that many new features. Some of them are bigger than others, for granted. But just curious, was trying to do multicam setup. When it finished, I noticed only partial videos showed up. This is since V12. Anybody else experienced this? I haven't done any multicams yet with V12. I accepted the 3-month free trial. Haven't had an opportunity to check out the features. Very cool. If I had the 3-month free trial right now, I would probably go ahead and just subscribe, and that gives me 90 days to decide whether I want to keep it. But I only get 1 month. Most in VFX was scared until they saw the premium content. Doesn't seem impressive. It's not premium. In Final Cut Pro, they're not, whether or not it's premium is not the issue. The issue is they're not calling it premium. The issue is, if you check the manual, it just says extra content, not premium content. They're not calling that premium, even though you may consider it premium. $15.99 a month there in Canada. Wow. It's interesting. Sebastian said it's different code. That's interesting. When I opened RGB Scope today because I wanted to add more shadows to my recording without crushing Galaxy's percentage any longer, might have done something wrong. Pixelmator Pro only got the update with the CS subscription, unlike Final Cut Pro and the other apps. Pixelmator, is that right? Pixelmator Pro? See, I thought I updated, but I didn't subscribe. I'm not subscribing yet. I need a better deal than not 30 days. 90 days, that would be That would be the minimum that I would want. That, or just give me an NFR. Apple, give me an NFR so I can get your subscription and see check what it's about. I'm not going to do it other than that right now. I don't need to. Logic running fine for me, completely fine. Final Cut Pro is completely fine. The Pixelmator Pro that I have is running, so I'm not sure what's going on with there. It's a shame that Final FCPCS does not get the new sound effects and background music from Logic. The menu entry, download, and additional content is gone. Used to be for installing. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Here's Final Cut Pro team, the Apple team, watches this broadcast. Here's what I don't want. Don't on one hand say, hey, there's feature parity between FCPCS and Final Cut Pro, and on the other hand, oh, we're not going to give you these updated titles and generators and sound effects. They're not premium. They're just extra. Don't say we're going to have feature parity and then keep these things around. If it was true premium, I understand. I also understand that we haven't paid for an update to Final Cut Pro for 15 years. I completely understand that. It would be cool if you would give us the millions and millions of Final Cut Pro users that have supported Final Cut Pro for 15 years. It's because of us that Final Cut Pro still exists. It's because of us. We keep using it and touting it. You should give us a discount for the subscription for a year or two. Because we already have Final Cut Pro. We already have Logic. We already have these things. You should give us a discount if we want to try the subscription. It makes no sense. I don't mind paying for software. The future probably is going to be subscription. But we already own Final Cut Pro. We already put down $299. Yes, it's been 15 years. I understand. But we're the ones that have supported Final Cut Pro for 15 years. If it wasn't for the millions of people that use Final Cut Pro, it would no longer exist. We are the ones that support it. You should give us a discount on the subscription. Do you think we will see another big update this year, maybe 12.5 or 13 by the end of this year? Boy, if they're going to jump from 12 to 13 in 1 year, that would be incredible. Even 12.1 with new features, 12.1 might be a bug fix, or 12.0.1. They're still saying they're going to do a Creator Summit. It's supposed to be in the spring. That gives them till June the 20th. That's technically spring here in the United States. There's supposed to be a Creator Summit. It makes no sense to do a Creator Summit without an update to Final Cut Pro. I'm sorry. No sense to do a Creator Summit unless you have an update to Final Cut Pro. Now, in the past, on 2 occasions, they've given us a preview of an update to Final Cut Pro, maybe 3 occasions. The very first one, they showed things that were coming to Final Cut Pro. And it didn't arrive till 6 months later. So they at least can show us something, at least a preview of forthcoming features for Final Cut Pro at the Creator Summit. And except for the very first one, they've allowed us to talk about it. It wasn't like they show us something and say, oh, don't say anything. No, they said, go ahead and share it on social media. So to me, if they're going to have it, well, they're going to have a summit. They haven't said they're not. There's going to be an update to Final Cut Pro. So I think there's very possibly could be an update for Final Cut Pro. Feature update. Of course, there'll be a bug fix or two. So to answer your question, yes, I think we'll see one by the end of this year, feature update around the Creator Summit. Now, since they've delayed the Creator Summit, they said, oh, we're going to give you information in December. Well, December came and went, and they didn't give us any information about the Creator Summit. Now we're in February. We didn't get any information in January. Now we're in February. Now Final Cut Pro 12 is launched. I presume we're going to get information about the Creative Summit in February. To be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if they push it back to November again. I liked it in November a lot. I like that better than I think the summer. But we'll see. We'll see what they say. We'll see what they say. If you already have Final Cut Pro and you pay for a subscription, do you now have 2 Final Cut Pro apps? If it's one, what happens if you cancel the subscription? No, you have 2. You have 2 separate apps in your applications folder. One specifically for the subscription CS, Creator Studio, and one's standalone. I call it standalone, but FCP-CS and FCP-12, or just regular FCP, is fine. You have 2 separate apps. 2 separate code bases, apparently, Sebastian said. I have downloaded and going for trial for Creative Studio, and note that when you launch all the Pro apps, it asks you if you want to import your presets, and it's done perfectly for all apps. So, well, that's good. Here's something else. I checked and got confirmation that both apps, both versions of the app, share the Motion Templates folder. They both share one Motion Templates folder. So if you have Motion Templates in one, you'll have them in the other. Now, that doesn't mean the ones that are inside the Final Cut Pro app. So the new titles and new transitions and new generators are inside the app. They're not in the Motion Templates folder as far as I know. But they both apps share the same Motion Templates folder. Hi, Richard. Happy New Year. How are you doing, Simeon? I'm afraid of the future of Final Cut Pro right now because of the subscription model. I don't want to pay subscription for life. Prefer to pay every single update than pay a subscription. You are not alone, Simon. You are not alone. It should be the other way around. Putting more features into the standalone version, I would consider normal Final Cut Pro Premium over the CS version, which is really more about one-person content creators. That would be great, Sebastian. I would like that a lot. But I'm just saying, here's what I don't want Apple to be doing. Talking this. Oh, feature parity, bop, 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 feature parity. But the walk is, oh, we're going to keep these titles and stuff. We're not giving them to you in the standalone version. We're going to squeeze you. We're going to keep adding little things in the CS version that you can't get in the standalone version, and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing toward the subscription. Let us make the decision what we want to do. Don't keep pushing us and pushing us. Here's a little thing here. Here's some titles here. Here's a generator here that you're not going to get. That's complete BS. We're professionals. Treat us like professionals. We're not in high school. Okay? Don't be doing that. That would aggravate a lot of people, including me. I finally bought DaVinci, but seems complicated. It is very complicated. It is very powerful. It has way more features than Final Cut Pro does. And it has a good support community. Blackmagic has an excellent system of manuals and videos, and the community is very, very strong. So take your time. Go on YouTube and look up DaVinci Resolve Beginner and start from the beginning. It's very, very, very good. And there's a lot of things about Grant Petty that I like. One of the main things he says, no subscriptions. No subscriptions. Now, last year at NAB, he said they're probably going to be charging for an upgrade to DaVinci Resolve. That's completely fine. That is completely fine. I prefer paying for an upgrade outright rather than this. Subscriptions. What the heck? Where did all these subscriptions come from? I would much rather pay a fee for an upgrade to Final Cut Pro every couple years than subscriptions. Does that mean I'm not going to do a subscription? No, that doesn't. Because for Final Cut Pro, I'm not interested in subscription. There's nothing in the new version of Final Cut CS that I want. I buy plugins from BreadFX, and I buy plugins from Steve and Mark from Ripple Training and other plugins that I pay one time, and that's it. And they're equal to or better than the ones in Final Cut Pro. They're probably, let's say they're equal to Final Cut Pro's quality. They're different. So I'd rather pay that one-time fee, get the titles, rather than every month, like get $12.99 coming at me because I wanted some titles in Final Cut. Now that's for Final Cut. That does not mean, what about an audio mixer? We'll have to see what develops. I don't know. It's there. They haven't turned it on. Maybe they had problems with it. Maybe they're waiting for who the heck knows. My point is this. Doing this subscription for Final Cut Pro, no, not interested. I don't see anything that I need. Those titles, I have thousands of plugins and titles. I don't need the couple more that Final Cut Pro CS has. They should have gave them to us for free with the standalone version. There's no reason to keep titles that aren't premium, according to Apple. They're not premium, they're just extra. There's no reason why they didn't give us those in the standalone version. Okay? Now, having said that, there's other things I'm interested in the subscription. I'm not clear what Logic Pro gives you in the subscription versus the standalone. If they give you a lot more packs, music packs and stuff like that, okay, I'm interested in that. If Pixelmator Pro has a lot of features in the subscription version versus the standalone version, okay, maybe I'm interested in that too. If Keynote has access, they have access to that content library, whatever the heck it is that video clips and pictures and audio clips and sound effects? Okay, I'm interested in that. I'm interested in subscribing for those for Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro, and Keynote. I'm interested in those. Not Final Cut. Final Cut's over here. Final Cut's fine at this point. But over here, Keynote, Pixelmator Pro, and Logic Pro, if they have extra content, I'm interested in the subscription for those things. We'll have to see. I'm not getting it right now. Good morning, our friend Ben. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is warm and safe. I'm warm inside. I got a wood-burning stove burning. Also, the extra content looks as extra content, nothing extra fancy, but it shows following a blue dot to help find them. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that, to showing us new. They have blue dots to show you what's the new content. Thank you. Thank you. That can't be that difficult. So that's pretty cool. Now, the other thing is, with the subscription, is Final Cut Junior on the iPad. Because it has some features that Final Cut on the Mac doesn't have, I'd be interested in that too. I'm still not clear. Pixelmator Pro regular is still on version 3.71, but the CS build is version 4. Let me just check on something here a second. Let me open up Pixelmator Pro and see what version it is. Yeah, 3.71. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct with that. That's what I'm on, 3.71. But 3.71 is working fine for me. I wish somebody, the people that are doing tutorials, even if you do Final Cut Pro tutorials on CS, can you please do Pixelmator Pro. Can you do Logic Pro? I know some of the guys, there's some really good tutorials on YouTube with Logic Pro. I need the comparison with the standalone version versus the subscription version. That's all I'm really interested in, to see what I'm missing out on the subscription version. Logic Pro. Pixelmator Pro, the same thing. Show me the standalone version, show me the subscription version, so I could see the difference in between the two, so I can make a decision on whether I'm going to subscribe. Same with Keynote. Show me the standalone version, show me what I'm getting extra in the subscription version. Not text on a page. I want to see real documentation. Am I going to subscribe? I would say yes at some point, but I'm going to wait for a better deal than 30 days. Okay, 30 days isn't enough. If you give me 90 days for a new Mac, when I buy a new Mac Mini Pro, okay. At that point, I'd probably jump in. If you give me an NFR, not for resale, because I'm a Final Cut Pro trainer, okay. Then I'd do it. Give me a year subscription, Apple. Give me a year subscription. I'm a trainer. I've sold many Macs for you over the years. I've done a lot of Final Cut Pro training. I already own the education version of Final Cut Pro, compressor installed, Motion, Logic Pro not installed, and Pixelmator installed. I am not going to try out this subscription right now. I'm the same. There's nothing compelling for me. Thank you. Nothing compelling for me to try the subscription version. Certainly not Final Cut Pro. You added some titles, generators, transitions. I've got thousands of those that I paid one time for, and I can use them. What I've been able to see of the premium content in Final Cut Pro, just more of the outdated templates I already have. Titles, generators, some of the generators look pretty cool, but I have third-party ones that do the same thing that I don't have to subscribe for. Okay, at least Logic comes with a bunch of new content you can easily download and manage, and a manager, pretty nice. That's what but I need to know what that is. I'm curious about the streamers and influencers who were invited to Los Angeles. It feels like a hint about the audience Apple is going after. With Creator Studio, it absolutely is. Creator Studio is not marketed towards the professional market. Absolutely. Creator. It's marketed for creators. It's not called the Hollywood Studio. It's absolutely going after creators, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just curious. You hit that right on the button there, Luke. To me, it seems like professionals might not be the main focus anymore. Final Cut has never been aimed at like 100% professionals. It's always been an amalgam of people, and that includes influencers, creators, a little bit of Hollywood, colleges, stuff like that. For this new chapter of Final Cut, I'd like to see more features updated, and I hope they maintain features the same for all of us that bought the one-time purchase. That's what I'm saying, Final Cut Pro team. Don't say, well, we're going to get, at the beginning, we're going to give them feature parity, but we're going to chip away at that as we go. No, not features, not titles that are just extra. If you have something in the future that costs you extra money, and listen, I don't mind paying to help support Final Cut Pro at all. I just don't like subscriptions. I'd rather pay $99 for 2 years of updates, period. But that would include the titles that you gypped us out of this time. I shouldn't say gypped. It's extra content that they're putting on one side and not the other. So the scales are like this. It's not quite equal. Why not Creative Studio on 2 paths, one using subscription, one-time purchase, to put premium content on a subscription or in-app purchase? You're right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Well, first off, since we supported Final Cut Pro for 15 years, we did, the millions of users, we are your customers. We supported Final Cut Pro for 15 years, using it, promoting it. You should give Final Cut Pro owners a discount to the subscription if they want to try it. Not $1, but give it to us for $4.99 for the first year or something like that. If Apple are smart, they will be adding features to Final Cut Pro in the future that makes upgrading one's computers more interesting, because a new computer is something that speeds up those features a lot. Hello from Jamaica. Alista. Good morning, Rich. I'm not feeling subscription. Do you plan to get it? Not right now. I'm not, as I keep saying, I'll probably get the subscription, at least to try it out, but it's not because of Final Cut Pro, because Final Cut Pro works fine. I have 12. I don't need the extra little titles that they didn't give us, which I think was kind of, well, I don't want to say anymore. I think they should have given it to us. Yes, all my plugins, effects, transition titles are available in both Final Cut Pro versions, absolutely. Parody, not parody. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Parody, yeah, with a T, not parody. People are commenting in various places that my test to ingest a lot of media to see how they transcribe, analyze helps. They say, why so long? 1 hour to process is not too bad. What I do not like about the extra content in Final Cut Pro is that you cannot adjust them in motion. I understand it's probably for piracy reasons, but it still annoys me. I completely understand that. Completely understand that, but that wouldn't surprise me if somebody figures out a way to do that. Would not surprise me. Adobe Premiere free version, love it a lot more than LumaFusion. Well, I don't like Adobe, so I'm probably not going to be trying that, so I won't have any opinion on it. I like LumaFusion a lot. Learning Resolve is equal to learning Legacy Final Cut Pro. Didn't find it that difficult, but I did a tutorial first. They have a lot of training, Blackmagic does. With the aggressive push from Apple to get us to update to Mac OS 26 and iOS 26 withholding security updates feature, but it could happen to Final Cut Pro CS2, where they actually make old users convert at some point, would make sense in economics terms. We're the customers. We supported Final Cut Pro for 15 years. Listen to what your customers want. Listen to what your customers want. Don't be cramming stuff down our throats. That's what I don't like. Funny thing, my iPhone, like all Apple devices, was don't update automatically, but my phone have done it in the right following Creative launch. One of the things with the Creative Studio is I downloaded the app. I didn't subscribe to anything. It automatically switched when you double click on a Final Cut Pro library, it automatically switched that to the new version, the CS version. No. I want it to open up in my regular standalone version. Apple is really pushing. And I understand it's for monetary reasons. Treat your customers as loyal 15-year customers. Don't be pushing all this stuff on us, and be upfront with us. Don't be sneaking around in the back doing a background task of, we're going to not give them this so they subscribe. We're going to not give them that so they subscribe. That's a bunch of hooey. I love the beat detection feature. Yes, Logic's had that for years, but it's much more useful and faster than the other apps. It's really amazing. Wish I could get features like this every 4 times per year, not every 12 to 18 months. Yes. Well, let's see how that goes. If you're not using the iWork suite, I don't see the point of having a subscription for Creator Studio because you can get the Pro apps standalone. That's correct, but I use Pixelmator Pro and I like Keynote a lot, both of those. So it depends on what they have for those. Very cool. Logic has a new library manager I really love, Simple Complete. Now, Ben, is that in Logic Pro Standalone 12 or is that only in Logic Pro CS? Is that new library manager in just 12 all around? Just look through the so-called custom premium offerings in the titles and generators, and frankly, they are underwhelming. Right, they're not really premium. Apple has, if you look in the manual, it doesn't say download premium content. It says download extra content. Not premium, but it's something extra. Pixelmator Pro standalone doesn't get the Warp tool and the subscription iPad version has, plus the standalone has only a fraction of the mock-up templates. Okay, so that's two things. The Warp tool, not so much. The mock-ups, templates, yes. Yes, Pixelmator Pro, I got the 2 versions, but my previous don't get updated with the pipeline around Photomator. I don't know what's going on there. I recently upgraded my iPad, so I got a complimentary 3-month subscription to Creator Studio, so I'm going to try Final Cut for iPad. Sure wish there was round tripping between iPad and Mac. I think you can do that with something from Chris Hawking. I'm an Apple certified master trainer. We get nothing for all those years. We paid Apple for that privilege. It's wild that they haven't given you a free subscription. Yeah, give me a NFR, not for resale, subscription for a year or 2 years. I'll take 2 years. Then I can report on it and talk about it on Final Cut TV, Final Cut Pro Radio, FCPX.TV, all the other stuff that I do. I'm not subscribing currently. I'm not going to do it. Logic Pro menu, library, the manager has all the content listed. You can pick and choose what you want. I guess my question is, it only available in the CS, the Creator Studio version, or is it available in the Logic Pro 12? Legacy Final Cut Pro is aimed at professionals. Apple put a lot of resources into it and bragged that they had reached pro market critical mass, then replaced it with FCPX and says that's not our market now, which is absolutely. In-app purchase for premium content would make a lot more sense to me. That would be very cool. So the standalone version, you could choose to purchase, not subscribe, purchase premium content. I agree with that. What I've done is cancel my ChatGPT Plus subscription. If I subscribe to Creative Studio, it'll give me the AI I want for a lower price. Listen, the thing about the subscription is it's certainly a nice price point. $12.99 for all those apps and $10.75 if you subscribe by the year. So here's what I figured out while I was checking out things over this last week. The price for the yearly subscription is $129. If you go monthly and skip 2 months, it's the same price. So you don't have to lock yourself into the yearly subscription if you don't think you're going to use it every month. You can go month by month, skip a month here, skip a month there, and it's the same price as the yearly subscription, $129. If you skip 3 months or 4 months, let's say you skip 4 months and use it for 8 months, it's less than $129. It's like $110 for the 8 months. So if you're not going to, like for example, if you go on a vacation in the summer, you're not going to use Final Cut Pro, unsubscribe for the month. If you're doing something else and you're going to be busy at work and not get a chance to use Final Cut Pro, you can unsubscribe for the month. So if you can miss 2 months out of the year, it's the same price as the yearly subscription. So what they're doing is they're charging you for 10 months and giving you 12. If you're going to use it every day and every week, that's not going to work for you. Yes, one part of this subscription deal that might lure me in the future, lure me in the future is that Final Cut for iPad is included. There are interesting touchscreens, yes. Some things in Final Cut Junior, as we call it for the iPad, they have some features that Final Cut Pro does not have, and vice versa. I'm a Final Cut Pro user since 2005 with Final Cut Express. I switched to Apple because of Final Cut Pro. Nothing more, please, Apple, listen to us. We love Final Cut Pro team. Love you guys, absolutely. What you definitely cannot do is sharing the extra content with others, meaning you cannot work in Final Cut Pro on a project done in CS with extra content, so its subscription block is the code for motion templates as well. Gotcha. That's what I figured. Library managers and, okay, Logic Standalone don't have the subscriptions up. Very cool. I use Pages regularly to track work hours and balance checkbooks. Okay. Balance checkbooks and Pages? I use numbers for that. I didn't know Pages could do it. Magnetic timeline versus non-magnetic timeline. Please explain why people love it. We can't do that on this show. It would take too long. Yeah, I like it for 90% of the time. 10% of the time, I turn it off by doing a little secondary storyline stacking over top. There's a way you can do it. You can also use the P key that kind of does it, or use that keyboard combination with the tilde key to kind of not do it. But for the most part, I like it a lot because if I move a clip and I want to move it forward, say, and the clip has titles attached to it, the titles go with it. You don't have to worry about moving the clip and then taking the titles and putting them back and realigning it. It's nice. Plus, it closes up the gap automatically. I'm a content creator, which video editor can be the best for me. I have to push a lot of content. Suggest for you a Mac that would work good enough for content creation involving 4K video editing, max 15-minute long. I plan to push the machine hard. It depends. You want a MacBook Pro, or I have a Mac Mini Pro that I really, really like. I have the M4, but I would wait because the M5 should be coming out. The M5 should be coming out, which will do two things. It'll give you current technology and lower the price of the M4s typically. So Mac Mini Pro. You remember Avid the Tank, Final Cut Pro Fast Car, DaVinci Utility Truck, I Can Say Creative Studio, the Creator Track, DaVinci Resolve Broadcast Track, and Media Composer, the Hollywood Track. Do you think Final Cut Pro will release silence removal transcript editing in the next few months? Can we expect faster updates? Some people think that. I don't, based on what they've done in the past. I don't see a faster development pace. Maybe a little bit faster, but in the last, say, 2 or 3 years, the pace has not been what you would call fast. Has some good features, but it hasn't been fast. I don't see why a subscription would change that, because a subscription just doesn't go to Final Cut Pro. It goes to 10 apps, not just Final Cut Pro. So maybe, hopefully, it'll develop faster. Please help with plug-in or some solution for a quick one-button audio enhancement of audio in Final Cut Pro, not just noise removal. Any plug-in? Boy, that's, audio is a whole subject matter in its own, right? So I use voice isolation usually, and I do a couple other things with built-in plugins. Usually I get along okay. The main thing is to record good audio to begin with. That's the main thing. Can't get enough of that Final Cut protein. Absolutely. I've got a MacBook Pro M1 Max, the same one I got, that easy to produce 1-2 hour long programs, no issues, great performance, don't overthink hardware, absolutely. Good afternoon from the Netherlands, Mr. Snowblower. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of snowblower videos. We had snow that shut down the school for 4 days. I get the biggest kick out of that because it wasn't that much snow. It was about a foot, 10, 11, 10, 12 inches. Okay, here we go. FX Factory D-Revive is the best one-button audio enhancement plugin, hands down. Sebastian, I absolutely trust your judgment on that. Record good audio, thanks, helped a lot. That's the first thing that audio people will tell you. Record your good audio at the beginning, and that'll make things a lot better. If you can't, you have to use plugins that are available. You got one suggested to you right there. But if you don't pay attention to your audio when you record it, then you need to hire somebody that can record good audio for you as well. There's no one-size-fits-all solution for audio. Audio is a complex issue. You can do one plugin magically fixes everything. Do some audio mixing tutorials. Absolutely. Should the Creator Studio be offered as a one-time buy and subscription buy? The difference will have been no premium content as standalone Creator Studio. So I'd like to see them give a discount to those of us that have been supporting Final Cut Pro for 15 years. So this is interesting. This one for Sebastian. FX Factory D-Revive is the best one-button audio enhancement plugin, hands down. Listen to Sebastian. I'm sure he's very smart. I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. So try FX Factory DX Revive. I'll look at that myself and see what's going on there. I will look at that myself. So yeah, I think they should have given Final Cut Pro owners a discount. Someone should get a bunch of us acts together for documenting. We could trade war stories. I'd love to see that. So interesting, Ben. When I think you went to New York too to train to be a trainer, train the trainer. I filmed the class. It was a handheld camcorder at the time, and I actually filmed the class. So I have the class at the end. I think it was after we took the exam. There was maybe 18 people, 20 people in a class. 2 of us passed the exam. I was one and somebody from Canada passed the exam, and the rest of them didn't pass. But when I'm going to take an exam, I study. I got my ham during the COVID period. I renewed my ham radio license. I had it when I was a kid, didn't keep it active all those years, and got a new license, ham radio license. And I studied, and I got 100% on the exam. They were kind of amazed at the class. Those ACT exams were not easy. You had to really know it super well. To get 85%, I think you had to get. The regular Final Cut exam was 80%, but the train the trainer exams, I believe, were 85, something like that. So Have you tried the AI audio assistant in DaVinci? It works like one button fix for any kind of audio. That's interesting. I have not tried that. Now I'm going to go try that. Since you mentioned that, I haven't done much audio in DaVinci. I do text-based editing mainly. Got to go do training for shelter dogs. You'll have a good weekend. Be well. Okay. That's what we look like outside. That's what we look like outside there. Interestingly, the subscription version is actually called Final Cut Pro Creator Studio app, and they use localization to make it appear as Final Cut Pro in the Finder and internally. That's very interesting. I'm going to take this person's AI audio assistant enhanced speech Premiere. Okay. DX Revive is $99 US. Well, it's probably worth it if it works really well. I'm not going to get it. I do pretty successful cleanup since Apple added voice isolation to Final Cut for most things, and just dial in the amount that you need. That noise reduction, and then you can also apply a compressor inside of Final Cut. So I use those mostly. Thank you. By the way, thank you everybody that's subscribed. You pushed my subscriptions over to 3,000, which is cool. I really appreciate that. I mean, it's not as much as some of the people have hundreds of thousands, but I haven't been really that active except for the last couple of years. A lot of people watching on YouTube today. Absolutely. You can try the AI audio assistant only in the studio plan. Very, very cool. Raymond says, voice isolation is great, easy peasy. It works surprisingly well. It's not the same as like an EQ thing. It definitely is very, very, very effective. It works really well. I saw that, what's the name of that plug-in company that they ran for years? Just installed DaVinci Resolve Studio and realized it's a very powerful software. It is very powerful. I highly recommend DaVinci Resolve. I mean, if I was giving a recommendation to somebody just starting out in the business, I would say, get the free version of DaVinci Resolve. Try it out. Go through tutorials. I used to say, do the 90-day subscription to Final Cut Pro, but now it's only 30 days and see if you like it. 90 days is much better. Yes, Isotope. That's it. Didn't they just have a problem with going bankrupt? I think they did. They sent a letter out to their users. Oh, don't worry, we're fine. I don't know. Did Bending Spoons buy them? Or Bending Spoons is a horrible, horrible company for a creator. They just buy stuff like they did with Filmic Pro. Used to be the top tier iPhone app. Top tier. And now they completely bought it and went subscription, and it's just nobody uses it anymore. Believe it or not, here in Italy, I'm still fighting against some producers. First of all, because I'm on a wheelchair, and second, because they don't think the Final Cut is professionals, and it's professional anyway. This month, I declined it. 3 to 4 works. Use it all the time. Okay, Native Instruments went under. I thought it was Isotope for some reason. I thought it was Isotope. The Final Cut team interview with the Technolobe channel was enlightening. To about 3 features questions, the tech guy responded, "I'm interested in what you have to say." Never answered. So let me just pull this up real quick. Where is that? Here we go. Going to do this. Going to do this. Oh, look at that. So one of the things Do I have that up there? I think I have that up there. Let me just go here. Here we go. So, as usual, over at fcpx.tv, I have an Apple Creator Studio articles, reviews, tutorials, master list. Now, we're on there live right now. Actually, the delay on YouTube's not that much. That's interesting. How did I get that there? How did I get that title up there? Hold on a second. Let me pull that off. Oh, there we go. I'm going to pull that over to here. Turn it off there. But I have the list of all tutorials. I have what's new by Apple in Final Cut Pro, what's new in Final Cut for iPad, Apple Creator Studio link that Sebastian sent last time, about Apple Creator Studio and Apple Creator Studio link. There's our friend Steve and Mark. There's the interview with Bill Davis from the Final Cut Pro team. There's a bunch of other interviews here. Lots of them. There's a FCP Cafe with Chris Hawking. He did an article. What's new with Final Cut Pro 12, Ian Anderson. An Apple Creator Studio review. What's included, what it means for a creator. There's Jen. This is what I was afraid of. There's another interview here, interviewing Apple. Is our friend Final Cut Bro. Don't these two look almost identical? The graphics, there's that one. They look like they copied each other. Somebody copied the other one. Update in the middle and the two icons. I noticed that. New update, Final Cut Pro 12, 2 weeks later, hands-on, and then you can buy me a coffee if you want to buy me a coffee for doing all this work. And I'll keep adding to this list. So. All right, let me go back to the main screen there. There we go. Visual search versus Jumper. I didn't want to turn that off. Hold on a second. Not as accurate in English only, however, it takes up a lot less resources. There you go. This website brings back memories of 1998. Jumper block around 2 gigs of RAM for their local model. Apple does not need to do that. Your website is amazing and you're great. Thank you for what you do for us, Richard Taylor. Thank you, guys. Simon, I met Simon last year in 2024 at the Creative Summit. Very, very cool. So there's a couple of things. I have not subscribed yet. I want Apple give me an NFR for that, or give me a 2-year subscription, and then I could talk about it more. Look at all these thumbs up we have. And thank you for subscribing, people. We've got over 3,000 subscriptions right now, which is really, really cool. And I'd like to see that number keep going up and up and up. We're up to 720,000 views on YouTube. 720,000 views on YouTube. But I have probably that amount on Facebook Live and that amount on X Live. And I have over 2 million podcast downloads of the Final Cut Pro podcast, Final Cut Pro Radio podcast. So millions of listens and views so far. And we're just kind of beginning. This whole new stage of Final Cut Pro 12 is like a beginning stage. DaVinci will bring subscription for Pro Max version of DaVinci Studio. I don't think so. I've heard Grant Petty say himself he doesn't like subscriptions. So I don't think they're going to do subscriptions for anything. They do not for the DaVinci Resolve. I don't know what their other products if you're streaming something like I am with Ecamm Live, that's different because they got to pay each month. I don't mind subscribing to that. I don't mind subscribing to some of the smaller developers around Final Cut Pro. I don't mind that. I have not subscribed either. I'm even to see what else is added. I think things they've added are 3 to 5 years behind. I don't disagree. Final Cut, if you're going to use Final Cut Pro, they're not in a race to keep up with DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is the leader by far. Their pace of development is amazing. Final Cut is nowhere near that, and I don't see that changing. And the thing is, Jeff, is you can try the 30-day trial and just subscribe for 1 month. That'll get you 60 days. Or if you're going to buy a new Mac, they'll give you 90 days, or a new iPad, they'll give you 90 days. So try that. Unsubscribe. That'll give you 60 days to try it out. No commitment. When was the last time Final Cut Pro crashed? Oh, about 13 seconds ago. From somebody. It crashed somewhere in the world within the last minute, I'm sure. I'm sticking with standalone for the time being. I am too. Like I said, if I'm going to say when Apple gives me an NFR version to subscribe, I'll try it out for a year, 2 years, whatever they decide to give me. And then I can talk about it specifically. But the difference between Final Cut Pro CS and Final Cut Pro Standalone, it's just titles, some generators, some transitions. That's the only difference between the two. So I wouldn't subscribe for Final Cut Pro. I hope the Final Cut Pro team will add the Italian language to captions and visual search. I've heard that, people. Thank you for the info. I will definitely do that. Yeah, just try it out for get the 30-day free trial. And if you buy a Mac or buy an iPad, you get 90-day free trial. So if you plan on buying, wait till you buy it. Ever since version 20 of DaVinci Resolve, so many have had bugs and issues, so the Adobe problem of adding too much quickly bites you in the butt. That I understand that, but I'd rather have the features with a few bugs and have them worked on fixing the bugs than not have the features at all. So that's what I thought. So he bought DX Revive. Thanks for the suggestion, Sebastian. There you go, Sebastian. You made a sale. For FX Factory, I think it was. Yeah, audio's a little complex when people ask about audio. Thank you very much for all the thumbs up. A lot of people watching today since Creator Studio came out. Speaking of Creator Studio, let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. We have a Facebook group, the Apple Creator Studio Community on Facebook. Just type in Apple Creator Studio. You don't have to add community or the Apple Creator Studio. And you get to our group. We have currently we have 358 members. We've only been in existence for 3 days. So we're doing good. We're doing good there. I think we're live on there too. Yeah, there we are. They were live on there too. So live on the Facebook group. But go over there, the Apple Creator Community, the Apple Creator Studio Community. The Apple Creator Studio Community over there on Facebook. We already got, 358 members and 2 days, 3 days, so we're doing pretty good. This is the group to belong to, and we're mostly going to talk about Final Cut Pro there because that's what we do. But anything in the Creator Studio that people want to ask questions about, that will be fine. We'll do the best we can. This is for the entire studio, mostly about Final Cut Pro. I think that's the way it'll morph. I think that's the way it's going to work. How much RAM does my Mac have? Let me check. 64, maybe? 64 gigabytes of RAM. I have the Mac Mini Max, Mac Mini Pro. And this is the M4. And because Apple didn't update this after a year, because they're taking longer between the updates, I'll be very tempted and I'll probably get the M5 Mac Mini Pro. If they give me a decent price on this one, which is brand new, it's perfect condition under AppleCare warranty and stuff. If they give me a decent price on this, I'll go ahead and get the M5. Probably coming out soon, right? This spring. And then I'll get the, we'll see. I still prefer Final Cut Pro against Avid or Premiere, and I hope that it finally can become the industry standard. Industry, you mean if Hollywood? That ain't going to happen probably in the near future. I would doubt that. Look at that. People are just giving me thumbs up all over the place. Appreciate it. I had a problem with rendering after rolling transition earlier part of the timeline to in latest 11. Had to quit and clean the library of render files to resolve. So I had an issue, thank you. I had an issue with updating a library or something, and Final Cut Pro 12 standalone repaired the library. Was that also in 11? Let me see if I can pull that up. I think I took a screen grab of it. I know I took a screen grab of it. Somewhere. Let me see if I can find that warning. Nope, I must have misplaced it. But anyway, there was a little pop-up that said, we're repairing your library. So, even if not related, I would love to have been more happy with audio roles-based mixer in Creator Studio. I was expecting royalty-free music library cleared for YouTube, no strike. I don't know, do they have that? They have some kind of a library system, right? For Keynote or Pixelmator Pro. Haven't gone through all the content that's available. Yeah. That was with automatic rendering turned on. M5 has great AI performance improvement. Exactly. Final Cut Pro is actually not doing bad with broadcast. Avid Media Composer will never be killed for features. It's the Ari of NLEs. Yes, it's embedded in Hollywood with more than just the app. Server farms and infrastructure. It's all embedded with Avid, so. Even though I already own most of these apps, I'll subscribe only after finishing the color grading and audio sound design of a big project. I don't want to upgrade in the middle of a project. Very, very smart. Would like the new option for Final Cut Pro iPad to the Mac to make a small video for several clips on audio. Wait a minute. In case people haven't noticed, Final Cut Pro did enhance a handful of new titles and generators for existing users. They often do this without notice comment. I didn't see those. Do they give you the blue dots to tell you these are new? Tell me where you found that. I had no idea that they updated a handful of new titles and generators for existing users. Send me, who has that information? I didn't see that. Render selection didn't re-render the selection. Yes, there was a secret feature to repair projects with the Option key clip menu, and apparently they made this automatic in V12. That's why it popped up. I don't remember seeing that before. Automatically. I know there's an option with the Option key, hold the Option key down, but I didn't know that they did that automatically. That's very interesting. Do you know if Final Cut Pro will give you a full readout of transcripts as allowed to do subtitles? I've been working more in Resolve lately. No full readout of transcript, which is a big, big oversight, in my opinion. Overlooking feature they should have done. In DaVinci Resolve transcript, you got the full transcript. You can export it. Final Cut Pro is just embedded secretly in the search field. They are not giving you access to that information. That's what people need. That's what people need. They need to be able to read a text document with timestamps of the transcript. DaVinci Resolve, it's been there for 3 years. Final Cut Pro, they hide it in the search menu. It's better than nothing, but still, we want to be able to read the entire transcript. If you've already done the work and, did the transcribing, let us have a document so we can export it and read it. Does it do subtitles? Not subtitles. It does basic captions. There's a couple of plugins from our friends, BreadFX and Lumberjack Systems, that makes those basic captions more usable, but not subtitles. DRevive is surprisingly good. Excellent. Excellent. Thanks. You already gave thanks to Sebastian for that. I'll have to look at it myself. Keyframe editors are so missing here. Absolutely. Really? Not even close to DaVinci AI audio enhancement? Now that's interesting. You've got me interested in DaVinci Resolve AI enhancement now. Yes, I got new title in the standalone version of Final Cut Pro. There was no blue dot. So why, if you're giving us new titles in the standalone version, and you give blue dots in the subscription version for new content, why wouldn't you give us blue dots in the standalone version for new content? I had no idea they put new content in the standalone version. Apple, doesn't make any sense. Give us the blue dots. Don't hold the blue dots for the subscription only. I'm just kidding you, but that's interesting. Hi, Richard. Do we know if we upgrade to Creator Studio, Final Cut Studio, what happened to all my existing plugins? I need to reinstall them? Nope. We talked about that earlier, but here's the deal. Both versions, you got the CS version, the subscription version, the standalone version. They both access the same Motion Templates folder that's already existing on your Mac. Now, that doesn't mean that one of those plugins might have to be reinstalled because they have to update something. I'm talking about the bulk of the plugins are just right there. Both apps share the same Motion Templates library. There's not two separate libraries for plugins. They both share, it's in Movies, Motion Templates. They both share the same one that you have on your Mac. Right. That's what I said. Hold down the Option key when clicking the clip menu. It was a hidden dormant developer feature like the scrolling timeline used to be, and apparently now part of 12 automatically. Right. No, they get accessed automatically. They stay available as before. That's talking about the plugins, yes. Look for the cloud icon next to dynamic backgrounds, for example, dynamic titles and reframe under effects as well. The cloud icon. Are you talking about this in the standalone version? Is that what you're talking about, to distinguish new plugins, new titles? The closest to getting a transcript, convert captions to SRT and export those captions, can read and text edit. New titles for us? I didn't see anything about these things. Stabilization and other analytics data is indeed part of the libraries or the cache files, so my guess is transcripts are there, just not as an SRT or similar. Right. But they should be, and Apple should make that available as a text file. I'd be very surprised if they don't at some point in the future. The blue dot is CS only, as far as I know. That's what I thought, too. Simon says extension does not work in V12, at least the Creator Studio. But all my third-party effects templates, and I have a lot, work well. Even FX Factory is smoother. Very cool. DaVinci AI does not just fix the audio, it also levels your music, sound effect, and you can auto, crossfade, etc. Make sure to select the entire timeline. Absolutely. Yes, the standalone version, a non-subscription. So you're talking about there's a little cloud icon. That's trying to get you to subscribe, right? The blue dot in the subscription version lets you know that these are new, that these titles, generators are new. It's a new thing that they did in the subscription version to let you know these are new. Yes. That's very cool, because when they updated titles, unless somebody does a video about them. I did one video one time to show all the new titles and stuff that were available, but I didn't. I haven't seen that since then. So here's what I want somebody to do. Number one, I want Apple to send me an NFR subscription so I can have a subscription. I'm not going to subscribe. And number two, if somebody could do a comparison, here's Logic Pro standalone, here's Logic Pro subscription. These are all the things you should get in the subscription. I don't need it done for Final Cut Pro. I already know. Here's Pixelmator Pro standalone. Here's Pixelmator Pro subscription. These are all the things that you get with a subscription. Same with Keynote. Keynote standalone, which is still free, and Keynote subscription, which is supposed to have new templates and access to that content library or something. Have to dig deeper in 12. Well, if you're going to dig deeper, I can dig you deeper right here. Go look at that. We're on there live. Go to fcpx.tv. You go to the main page and click on Apple Creator Studio Articles and Tutorials Master List. And I got to turn that on, and it'll catch up where we are. And then these are all the tutorials. What's new in Final Cut Pro for the Mac? What's new in Final Cut Pro Junior for iPad? Apple Creator Studio links. I love this line from Steve and Mark. This is not a fluffy overview, they said, like a lot of the YouTube tutorials are. This is a deep dive, so theirs is really, really sophisticated and it's long. And there's a good interview with our friend Bill Davis, who's on the Final Cut Pro team. And you can find a lot of information here. FCP Cafe with Chris Hawking, what's new in Final Cut Pro, Ian Anderson. There's a couple of reviews there. Jen is not happy about the subscription. And these two guys obviously were at each other's house when they did these graphics for the YouTube video. They look exactly alike. I'm not sure. I think Final Cut Pro had his out first. I'm not positive. But they looked like the same designer did both of them. There's another one 2 weeks later, hands-on, et cetera, et cetera. I'll keep updating this. Let's go to fcpx.tv. Let's go to the main page, and it's right there at the beginning, Apple Creator Studio. Articles, tutorials, master list. Absolutely. Are only in subscription on the blue dot? Absolutely. Have you seen the Reddit community of Final Cut Pro? You know, I belong to Reddit, but I don't know that. I have to look it up. Is it worth going to? On Reddit, 45,000 members. I'll have to check it out. I don't do much Reddit stuff once in a great while. Good morning. The new Final Cut Pro update is awesome. Trained on the AI, 70 hours of content for a client. Wow. I get a new content downloaded in the standalone version. Yeah, I did too, but I thought that was just catch up. I have watched some of those, including the deep dive. If I missed one or two that you like, send them to me and I'll include them. Apple warns us about some functions requiring Apple devices to support Apple Intelligence. Yes, it has to be an M1, I believe. Can you show your Final Cut Pro plugins? Can I show mine? I have thousands, over 1,000 Final Cut Pro plugins. I can't do that right now, sorry. Pixelmator Pro requires Mac OS Tahoe 26 to work. You're right, because I missed some thumbs up. It's a lot of thumbs up. I've tried to launch it a couple times and it kept saying, it has to be Tahoe. I have Tahoe on my Mac Mini. I have two volumes on my Mac Mini, Sequoia and Tahoe. I can boot into either one. I haven't been Tahoe for a long time because there's a couple of things that I'm missing in Tahoe that I need. So I'll have to launch Tahoe and get that subscription thing. Yes. We were just discussing that earlier. That's been in there for a long time, but apparently it's automatic now because I launched a library and there's a pop-up menu that said, hey, this library is corrupted and we're going to go ahead and repair it. It's automatic. Is beat detection time accurate to subframes? I don't think so. It'd be accurate to the beat. It'd be accurate to the beat. The beat is going to be a regular interval. And it's mostly for music at this point. Tutorials from Jen Jager are nice. Yes, she's a very nice person, good tutorial person. If you have 1,000 plugins, when you click the title icon, does it take lag before? In Final Cut, it takes a minute or two. It takes seconds to load up. I don't know how that works. It doesn't load them up. It just lists them. It isn't like you're loading up. Beats don't always fall on frame boundaries. They don't fall on video frame boundaries, but that's what you're adjusting to. You adjust the video frame to the beat. The beat is very specific. It's not subframes. It's not frames at all. It's very specific length of time from one beat to the next, depending on what your tempo is. Yeah, I agree with that. Beat detection is for frame cuts, so the smallest unit is one frame. Audio uses small units, milliseconds, so it's not as precise as in Logic because of physics. Right. So Logic has had beat detection for years. Not only that, but you can adjust. You can adjust, as Sebastian was just saying, you can adjust the detection, the beat detection. I see now there's option to download new titles in basic, text, dynamic titles, and elements. I'll be slicing the audio into stems. Don't have Logic Pro yet. Okay. It would be great if you can show how much is the delay between switching tabs. I can't do it right now, but I'll look at it and see. It does take it isn't instantaneous, that's for sure. Where is the AI transcription indexing information stored? Good question. I haven't noticed a massive amount of storage being taken up. Well, text wouldn't be massive amount of storage anyway. I didn't see any Pixelmator Pro update in the App Store. Rumors are Mac OS 27 will still have Rosetta for the last time to run legacy software. Also, Intel legacy software, but Intel hardware support will be dead. Yeah, I've heard that. That I haven't been on Intel for years. The last Intel machine I had was the original Mac Pro, 2019 Mac Pro, which was a great Mac. I love that Mac. It was so easy. It's modular and take things in and out. Oh, you call up Apple support and say, hey, my power supply is bad. Oh, really? Let's run a few tests. Oh, yeah, it's bad. We'll send you a new power supply module. Take the old one out, plug the new one in, you're ready to go. I love that machine. It was just so big. I sold it for like half price somewhere, somebody local. And I think I'm just going to get another Mac Mini. The M5, when it comes out, it depends on how much it costs, how much they give me for my M4 Mac Mini, which is in perfect condition. If they give me a good price for that, then I'll get the M5, and then maybe I'll get the whatever. We might not have gotten new titles and effects in the standalone version, but some of the prior titles might need to be downloaded again. I had to do that with the call out feature after upgrading, okay? Not an M5 Mac Studio. I don't need a Mac Studio. I mean, the Mac Mini's Pro, I got the Pro version, the high-end version. I got everything high-end, the top CPU, the top GPU, the 64 gigabytes of RAM. I didn't get the 4 terabyte or 8 terabyte drive though. I got 2 terabytes. I've been managing it fine. I have tons of external drives. I got an Thunderbolt 5 4 terabyte from OWC that I use. That's connected all the time. So an M5 Mac Studio would be very cool. But I think if the Mac Mini comes out, I'll trade my Mac Mini in. That's what my plan is. There's a little squirrel. You can see his tail on the right-hand bottom. There's a couple of squirrels. You can see the squirrels. They're eating birds. They're eating bird food. Right down here. There's one right there. The squirrel on the driveway. We have bird food out there, and they like the bird food on the ground. A lot of they don't bother our suet up there. And we have another bird feeder on this side with seed in it, and then scatter seed on the ground for people. As a matter of fact, I have a heated bird bath coming here Sunday that we're going to plug in, stick it in the ground, provides water for the birds, because the creatures, a lot of them, they can't get a hard time getting water when things are frozen. I wish there was a feature like DaVinci and Premiere which you could apply effects titles by just typing after hitting a shortcut on the keyboard, which shows up in Spotlight like a window. Good suggestion. My M1 Mac Studio Ultra will last me a while, I hope. It certainly should. In DaVinci, Shift plus space to open the Universal Tools search. Type the name of the effect, Gaussian blur, and press Enter to apply directly to the selected kit. That's very cool. That's a very cool feature. I use DaVinci Resolve for any long-form text-based editing, even doing a podcast. I'll throw audio in there, read the transcript, pull a piece that I want, piece that I want. I mean, it's really much more sophisticated than what they gave us in Final Cut. New hardware, or you like buy what you need, and when old detect you must discard the hardware repair. Old device like Mac Pro was hardware golden age. Well, I have a cheese grater Mac Pro, and I have an original MacBook Pro. I'm not getting rid of either one. But if I want the M5 Mac Mini Pro, I'll trade in my M4, or I'll just sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Either way, if Apple doesn't give me enough, the good thing about Apple is they give you 0% financing if you have an Apple Card. So I take my Mac Mini, trade it in, get a new M5 Mac Mini Pro, and I can finance it for a year with no interest. I don't need to give the full amount. So that's very, very cool. I would either get an M5 Mac Mini or a new MacBook Pro, M5 MacBook Pro 16-inch. One or the other. But if the MacBook Pro was a touchscreen, I'd be interested in making that jump, and then I'd sell my Mac Mini, and I'd sell my... Would I sell that? Yeah, I'd probably sell my MacBook Pro. Maybe not. Beat detection is great, and visual search too. I love this update. Long live Final Cut Pro without any subscription. Yes. Just downloaded those titles. Don't see anything groundbreaking. Yeah, I didn't. I think it's just they're just calling it extra content. I hope that Motion gets updates through the subscription. Is an important part of the engine that makes Final Cut Pro work. It is indeed. Look, you got two little Siamese cats in your icon. They're like so cute. So there's no reason to think there's going to be an increase in the development of Final Cut Pro and or Motion. There's no evidence that is going to happen just because we have subscription. Now, there might be a faster development cycle. In that case, that would be a very big positive. But there's no evidence at this point. Do you recommend base M chip or the Pro Max? I always get the Pro Max. Pro or the Max. My MacBook Pro, I have a 2021, I have an M1 Max MacBook Pro. Got the Max. I get the top end except for the SSD. I don't pay for those premium prices. I get a 2 terabyte, and I can manage that pretty well. And the M4 Mac Mini Pro, they don't have an M4 Mac Mini Max, just the Pro. So I recommend the Pro, the Max. It is great that the magnetic mask is now in motion. It certainly is. Apple Card only in the U.S. Okay, there you go. So the Apple Card, I've got the Apple Card for years. I can finance, got my new phone. It's on a payment plan, 0% interest, and I get 3% cash back because I put it on the Apple Card. So 3% cash back, no interest loan for a year. There's no downside to it. Just make sure you make your payment each month. And the other thing is they have a savings account associated that has a higher interest rate than my bank does by far. Can we finally shorten or extend a piece of music to make it match the length of the edit? I need that feature. Not on the Mac. You have to do it manually. You have to do the analysis and then cut it and then physically move it. Do you use Motion? I use Motion about this much. I use Final Cut Pro, I use Logic Pro, and I use Pixelmator Pro. Those three I use a lot. Apple Card is an Apple credit card. It's a metal card. I've had it for years. I do. First off, if you buy anything from Apple, you get a 3% cash back. 2% on any place that uses an Apple Card, and 1% on any other thing. So I get 0% financing for purchases at apple.com. I get 3% discount right off the bat. And there's no downside to doing it that way. What are the different prices for CS around the world? We have international people here. I suspect it will not be one-to-one, but in Germany it matches the U.S. price just in pounds, sterling, whatever that is. So, yeah, the one person said it was $179 instead of $130. The yearly subscription was $179. It obviously varies. Canada's higher, and other places are higher. Typically, but not always, the U.S. is going to have the lowest price. But now I have an annoying subscribe to edit button in the way of lowest titles. Anyone know how to get rid of it? Boy, I don't. Well, you're using a subscription. Use the standalone version of Final Cut Pro. How do you back up photos? Euros. There you go. Hardware's more expensive version. So how do I back up photos? I have 3 tiers of backup. I got a 56 terabyte RAID 5, my main backup. I have 2 16 terabyte RAID 5s, 2 separate ones. I have dozens, and I mean dozens of 8 terabyte standalone USB drives for backup. And I back up with Backblaze in the cloud. And I have LTO-9 tapes. I have a bunch of LTO-9 tapes that I back up to. These are 18 terabytes each. It's like two 9 terabyte hard drives. It's like 2 8 terabyte hard drives for each one of these. So I have a bunch of these. So I back up everything. I use iCloud, just basic. The basic iCloud is whatever the basic one is for $3 or $4 a month. I'm in standalone. I don't know what to tell you. I hope that's not the case. Canada is $179 plus 15%. 15% taxes? Holy moly. We're paying 5 or 6% in Maryland. I thought that was a lot. I mean, that's more than California, for God's sake. 179. That's the yearly rate, because it's 129 here. 1075 a month. So I'll wait for Apple to send me an NFR, give me a 1 or 2 year subscription to the Creator Studio. Got to pay for that excellent health care somehow. I think CS is $129 per year, euros per year. 43 normal, student 21 per year. 43 is cheap. 21 is cheap. $43, that's crazy. That's really, really cool. In Europe, is an average of 20%. In my country, it's 4.5%. So we don't have any country tax, well, income tax, but not for sales. We have individual states. 50 states have, each one has their own sales tax. Maryland, it's 5 or 6%. I think it's 5%. California, I don't know what the heck California is. It's crazy. Netherlands is 21% tax. See, the thing is that the different tax, we pay income tax, but not sales tax. Not that, it's the states. The state has sales tax. There's no national sales tax, just the individual states. It doesn't go to the federal government. Federal taxes 5%, provincial taxes 9.9%. Federal tax. So we don't have federal tax. We don't have federal sales tax. We just have the state tax. Each state has their own tax structure. In Maryland, it's 5 or 6%. I forget. It's been a while since I just put the stuff in and take care of it. No sales tax in Oregon, and I don't think there's any sales tax in Florida either. Hey, listen, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. You don't tax here, you tax over here. You don't tax here, you tax over here. So, but I'm glad ours is only 5%, I think. State tax, sometimes city tax. For sales? Well, I like Las Vegas has an incredible amount of add-on taxes. I went to book a hotel for NAB. It was incredible. Incredible. 43 normal, 21 student, but 3 months back taken a standalone. I should have waited. Yeah, I'm waiting. I want Apple to send me, if they send me a NFR version of, just give me a code to get the subscription for a year or two. Then I can talk about it on the show. I'm giving you advertising, free advertising. So just do that. Netherlands, $12.99, $29, including tax. Oh, that's what it is. Florida has sales tax, no state income tax. That's what it is. They get you taxes all over the place. Here's what they do. Taxes? What? Everywhere. Taxes, taxes, taxes. You will have to add 1.35 at the moment to the American price to get this Canadian price, which explains the $179 per year in Canada. Now, that would make sense if your wages are that much more in Canada, but I have a feeling that they're not. I have a feeling that they're not. We're doing great again. You people are fantastic coming in here. What did let me just check something. I got a kick out of this one thing. Hold on 1 second. Let me go down here. We might have to get a name for ourselves. This is what I really got a kick out of this when I saw this. This is what Chris Hawking said about us. He said, let me put this up a little higher. What the heck? Hold on 1 second. I'll go back to where I was. He said, and of course, the unstoppable Richard Taylor has been discussing things live on YouTube. This is you with his passionate community of followers. So you are the passionate community of followers. Should we get you guys a nickname? Everybody a nickname? Think of a nickname we can call the listeners of this show. Also, hardware have a special tax for planet protection and many products too. There you go. 13 monthly. That's what we are. $12.99 monthly. But I don't know. The euro and the dollar are not on a 1-to-1 aspect ratio, are they? I mean, 1-to-1 ratio. I don't think they are. I do not think they are. I'm not sure which is one way or the other. Chat realm is taken. Yeah, think of a name we can call ourselves for this community we have here, the Final Cut TV community. Think of a clever, funny name, perhaps, that we can call the people that are involved with this, and we'll tag ourselves, including me. I'll be included. We will tag ourselves Cutters, keep coming. Keep coming. Final Cutters. Final Cutters. The Taylor crowd. Yeah, that's funny. How about the Final Cutters? I don't know. Keep suggesting them, and we'll come up with a name that sticks. We will come up with a name that sticks. And don't forget, so I have multiple groups on Facebook. I have Final Cut TV Radio, Final Cut Pro Tips and Tricks, which is the biggest community. That's getting ready to turn over to 14,000 members. We just started this, the Apple Creator Studio community over there on Facebook. Just search for Apple Creators, Final Cut Pro, facebook.com/group/Apple Creator Studio, and it'll come right up for you. Pro Team, Final Cut Protein. I told you were like the greatest Iggy Pop. Final Cut Creators. I like that one. Final Cut Creators. That sounds cool. What do you think? We'll vote on it. Everybody vote on it. Final Cut Creators. I like that. FCC. Let me put that down. Final Cut Creators. All right. I like that. Daniel. I like that. I think the FCC will have a problem with the FCC. Well, that's cool too. Richard's Virtual Roundtable. I'm going to put these down. We're going to keep these, and then we'll think of them. Coder's Cut. Dollar going down. €1 is $1.884. Yeah. It usually before, I don't know about the euro, but the British pound usually was higher than the dollar. Non-subscription editors, Final Cut Pro non-subscription editors. Twitter is also taken. So we have, do I need to Creator Studio if I already paid for Final Cut Pro? No, you do not. You can update Final Cut Pro to 12, but back up your copy of Final Cut Pro 11. Please, back up your copy of Final Cut Pro 11 before you update to Final Cut Pro 12. How about the non-subscribers? But I think some of us are subscribers. I like it. Unsubs. There you go. Another cool name. Pound is more than the euro, is more than the dollar. I can't keep track of all these. Swiss francs is more than the pound, more than the euro, more than the dollar, better than the dollar. Yeah, I can't keep track of all that. I remember we have to, when I go to I've been to England probably about 6 times. First time was 79, and then I went in all through the 80s 2 or 3 times, and then also into the 90s. I haven't been back since. And you always got to transition your dollars into pounds. I like to have cash besides credit cards. So that's what I meant. Still the same price. Absolutely. So it seems like with my association, I have about 6 Final Cut Pro Facebook groups for different things. Main one is Final Cut TV, radio. Final Cut Tips and Tricks, Final Cut Pro Tips and Tricks. Those are the 2 biggest ones. The Apple Creator Studio is growing. It's already got 350 going to 400 people in 2 or 3 days. So that'll also probably be a big one. Mostly to Final Cut Pro. I have a Logic Pro 12 Facebook group that's got 4,500 members. So it seems like most people are liking the subscription. I mean, I don't have anything against it. I just want them to treat the 5 million to 6 million Final Cut Pro people that have been here for 15 years fairly. Don't do things behind our back. Don't try to be sneaky. Come right out and tell us what you're doing. Okay? The studio. You have to pay $1.35 Canadian to get $1 US. I have to pay 199 kroner per year for education version, but needs to be divided by. So this is too much. I know some editors who used pirate versions of Final Cut Pro. They all subscribe now. So I wouldn't, yeah. The old version 7 was not hard to pirate. I don't, $300 if you're a professional. They all subscribe now. Yeah, it seems like for the most part, there's a few of us that are not 100%. Like I said, Apple send me an NFR. Give me a code to get this subscription for a year or 2. Then I'll talk about it. I'll try it out. Right now, I'm not going to do it. All right. We've been here for 2 hours. Have you gotten 2 hours worth of enjoyment out of this so far? Two hours that I've to all you. So we want to do 2 things. We want to do this. That's for, let's do it again. I want to do this again. For the Final Cut Pro Apps team that gave us the subscription, whether we like it or not. And this is also for you, all the listeners, whatever we're going to call ourselves, the Final Cut creators, whatever we're going to do. Now, Raphael Ludwig have a great post on YouTube about the potential roadmap of Apple with the Creator Studio and standalone apps, but everybody's guessing. So, I mean, that's fine. We do that too. I have guess about things, but nobody knows. I mean, I think they're going to eke away at us a little bit at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there, till we finally end up subscribing. The future of software could certainly be, it looks like it's going to be subscription, except for Blackmagic. So we'll see. Do you expect the Creator Summit to happen in spring 2026? Good question. Do I expect it? They haven't changed. They have not changed that it's going to happen in the spring of 2026. In the U.S., the spring lasts until June the 20th. There's a couple of things. Number one is they haven't changed. Nobody said it's not going to be the spring. So they have until June the 20th to have it. There's no sense in having a Creator Summit without a new update to Final Cut Pro. So, do I expect it? 50-50 chance it's going to happen this spring. It would not surprise me if they pushed it till back to November, because they just had 12 come out, and how soon they can go from 12 to a new feature update is going to be interesting. There's no sense in having it create some without a feature update. We did that in 2019. It was just very disappointing. So don't do that again. I'd rather have it pushed to November with a new update than have it in April or May with no update. Final Cutters. That I like that too. I'm going to put that down here. Yeah. Final Cutters. That's another one. Slicers. Here we got this one. Are you sure Blackmagic Design will resist to subscription? Grant Petty has publicly said he doesn't want to do subscriptions. He doesn't like subscriptions. Grant Petty, the owner of Blackmagic Design, says he doesn't want subscriptions. Now, he's doing it the way that I prefer. Last NAB, Grant Petty said, we are probably going to have to charge for one of these big updates. Fine. That's what I wish Apple would do. I wish Apple would say, if you own Final Cut Pro, give us $99 and we'll keep you 100% feature parity, everything, content parity with the subscription version. I would rather have that than this constant subscriptions all over the damn place. We're tired of subscriptions. Your subscription is very, very reasonable. It is in the U.S. It's just aggravating. It's like having flies around all the time with these subscriptions all over the place. So Grant Petty has said he doesn't want to do subscriptions. He doesn't intend to do subscriptions, but he did say we're going to have to charge. We're probably going to have to charge for an update. I would suspect that when they update to DaVinci Resolve 21 at NAB, that'll be a beta, and when it goes out of beta, there'll be a charge for it. Whether that's $49 or $99, whatever it is, I'll be paying it. No qualms whatsoever. So I'd be very surprised. Yes, I don't think they'll do subscriptions. We're trying to Creator Studio now. Final Cut Pro is pretty underwhelming so far. For one thing, it's unclear how to get Final Cut Pro to analyze an existing library for the visual and transcript searches. You just right-click. Is it right-click? Yeah, you right-click on it, fix and analyze. Right-click. I don't know if you do a library. You can do projects. You can do clips. Right-click on a clip, or I don't know if you do libraries. Maybe. I think it's clip-based, maybe project-based. You have to check. Right-click on it, go down the menu, fix and analyze, and then go over to search transcript or search visual. Very simple. The slicers. When at some point I get a second iPhone capable of Apple Log, I might consider subscribing to get the iPad version for live multicam if I can't get the version in Blackmagic to work. Very interesting. I think subscription is good just for students. I hate piracy here in Italy. Unfortunately, there are many professionals that use pirated version of Final Cut every day. I hate them. Yeah, I'm not a fan of piracy, period. Blades? That sounds like a hockey team. Apple should offer Creative Studio as an upgrade to a fee to Final Cut Pro users. I agree. If you bought Final Cut Pro already, give us an upgrade path to do the subscription. Give us a discount. Come on. We've been supporting Final Cut Pro for 15 years. Millions of us, 5 or 6 million of us have supported Final Cut Pro for 15 years. Now, you did a good thing by doing feature parity. If you didn't do feature parity, it would just, don't make your user base mad. Don't just sit there and think you can cram things at us. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Doesn't work on synchronized clips or multicam. Well, multicam has more than one clip. That's why I think you got to do it for clips. Thank goodness for Time Machine. Absolutely. I back up all the time. I agree with you. We are tired of subscriptions. And like I said, the good thing is this subscription is very reasonable. And it's easy, as I keep saying, if you have an iPhone, you can run it for a month and cancel it for the next month. Run it for a month, it's right inside your settings. It's very easy to do on your phone. The fix and analyze doesn't work on multicams or synchronized clip, which is a touch for the whole lot of personal workload. Yeah, but you got to do the clips themselves. It's not, which one of the clips is it? It's a multicam. Which one of the clips is it analyzing? It has to know what clips you want analyzing. It's just the way it is. I don't know. Can you transcribe a multicam in DaVinci Resolve? I don't know if you can. Where we are, subscribers try buying Apple hardware to run Final Cut Pro. Yes, we were, 100%, absolutely. So I'm not against the subscription. I'm not subscribed right now. Whether I subscribe in the future, I mean, if we look in the future, Final Cut Pro is probably going to become a subscription mainly. I'm just going to say in 5 years, maybe in 2 years, maybe in 3 years. They will, listen, somebody's buying the version of Final Cut Pro standalone right now. They can't change it to a subscription in a year. That's not fair to them. Or to us, since they promised feature parity so far. I'm not against the subscription if they give us enough updates, features that are missing in Final Cut Pro. It's a reasonable price if you go by the year. It's $10.75 here in the U.S., which is not, that's 33 cents a day. And you get a lot more. That's not just Final Cut Pro. That's what you got to remember. See what's going on in the backyard. Anything going on there? It is really, really cold. There's some birds on the ground right below. We have bird seed. Those black dots are bird seed for the birds. I'm getting a heated water bird bath coming tomorrow that we're going to stick out there that'll keep water for the birds and squirrels. Anybody wants to drink and they don't can take a bath in the winter, but they'll drink. So that's about 8 inches of snow with sleet on top. It's a solid, it's not solid ice, but it's very hard crusted snow. Very hard crusted snow. So we had a lot of listeners today again. Spinning knives. No, that's getting silly. No, I like the final cutters. That works. I like that. Any ideas you come up with, we'll call ourselves the final cutters. Right now, that's pretty cool. It's concise. It has the word final in it and stuff. So I'm going to get out of here. I got to get firewood in the house. Every day I have to stock enough firewood for 24 hours. I stock it inside the house because I keep the stove going 24/7, 24/7, 24/7. If you watch my YouTube channel, I got a lot of snow blowing videos up there. I got a new snow blower. I'm so glad I got it because it's been a while. I'm on Adobe Premiere for mobile. Love more than LumaFusion. That's fine. I don't like Adobe at all. And I like LumaFusion a lot, so one for LumaFusion, one for Premiere. I don't like Adobe, period. I don't like their model. Stay warm. I intend to. We keep The wood burning stove, we have the top floor is where we live. It's a long brick rancher, 100% brick, not a brick facade, but the whole structure is brick. And we have the upstairs and we have the downstairs. I used to have my recording studio, but I stopped doing that years ago. So we stay upstairs for the most part. And the wood burning stove heats 90% of the upstairs. Bathrooms, I put a heater on when I'm taking a shower because it's a little cold. But it heats the entire upstairs. It's a very efficient buck stove. Keep it running 24/7. It's got a forced air fan that blows. It goes around the device and blows hot air out. So I am going to go get something to eat for lunch, and I'm going to go get some firewood, and I'll see each and every one of the final cutters so far. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll see. We won't make any decision now. We'll keep on thinking about names that we want to call our community. But very good. So once again, you've had a great discussion today. I've learned some things. I hope you learned a few things. And if you have any questions, go to our Facebook group. You can go to Final Cut, facebook.com/groups/Final Cut TV Radio. You can go to Final Cut Pro Tips and Tricks. That's more general. Final Cut TV Radio and the Apple Creator Studio community are the main ones that I post to most of the time. Most of the time. So that's where you want to go. Just bought, not even used. Simon, have a fantastic day. Richard Taylor, long life to Final Cut Pro. My wife is waiting to end this and then make dinner. Get to that dinner. I'm going to go get something to eat, maybe get another cup of coffee. But I got to stock up firewood. It takes me about 15, 20 minutes. Thanks to each and every one of you for stopping by the community. It's growing, it's growing, it's growing. Thank you very much. Thanks to the Final Cut Pro team for getting us Final Cut Pro 12 and making it have feature parity. Give us the titles. Give us the titles. Don't be keeping little stuff like that back. Premium content's a different story. You're not calling it premium, just give us the titles. All right? And Apple, Final Cut Pro teams listening, send me an NFR copy or code to get this Creator Studio, and I'll give it a whirl. I'll even tried Final Cut Pro Junior on the iPad. I'll even try that. So I'm not going to do that until something happens. I'm not going to do the 30-day trial. That's not enough time. And I'm not going to pay for it right now. I don't need it. I got Logic Pro. It's running great. I got Final Cut Pro 12. It's running great. I have to see what else happens with Pixelmator Pro, which I love, and Keynote is another one that I like a lot. See every one of you later. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You got me over 3,000. It's fantastic. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. If I don't see you before, I'll see you next week. Talk to you later.